Following on from my last video, I'm going to show you a few items I took with me on South Downs Way, but I wasn't too happy with, or I didn't use them. And the first thing I found when I was planning for this and get my things packed was that the Jetboil Mini Mo weighs a staggering 700 grams when it's just like this with the gas canister inside. For a single item, that's quite significant, I think. I'm wondering now about going for a more lightweight solution to camping and cooking, because as convenient as the setup is, I do not need the full capacity of this pan. I could use something about half the size of that and get away with it. So I'm currently looking at something like the MSL Pocket Rocket, maybe a mug type pot to cook with. The bag, I think that came from an old stove I had previously from Van Gogh, not a Jetboil product. Ignore that. Right, I had an issue with my sleeping setup. Mainly I was getting quite cold in the early morning when the temperature dropped suddenly, so as comfy as this mat can be, this is basically an Alpkit cloud-based clone I bought on Amazon for 30 quid. It's 2 inches thick when inflated, it's comfortable when you lie on it, but it transfers the cold right through it, and you feel that when it is cold on the ground. So I'm now thinking about taking my 3 quarter-length multi-mats self-inflating pads, and beneath that I think I really need to have, at least outside summertime, I need to have like an insulating mat on the floor. So my preferred option is this Thermarest Z Light, or Z Light if you want to say Z. My concern is how to pack it and carry it, because that is quite a bulky thing. There's no room inside my pack because I'm not really a lightweight backpacker. One option is to kind of fold it in half like this and strap it to the outside somehow, either below or on the front. What I have been thinking about doing for a few weeks now is taking a knife and just going down there, putting one half in the left hand side pocket, one half in the right hand side pocket, and doing that. But you know what it's like, making that cut is just like a very big thing. But I think one way or another I need to take this mat with me on future trips, because not only is it ideal for sleeping on, but you can put it like this and sit on this in daytime, and when you're walking those long distances, this is not doing it for you, I've got to say. It's fine on a day hike, but when you're away for 6 days, it's not really enough. So this would be ideal if I can factor it into my pack somehow. Although having these 2 items I'm sure would mean it's going to be heavier than this one by itself. But one of my biggest failings was trusting this lightweight jacket, which is supposed to be waterproof. It only rained on the one day really. I got absolutely soaked through on top of the downs. The t-shirt was wet and everything, got to the campsite dripping wet, starting to shiver, getting cold, and yeah, it's lightweight, it packs down really well, but it just, I can't trust it for a multi-day trek anymore. I did buy the cloud cover from Alpkit. It packs down into its own self-contained pockets in the foot end of the quilt. Generally it was okay. I found it a bit drafty because, again, my sleep setup was not ideal, and it's secured. It poppers down one side, you can attach them carefully and create a kind of sleeping bag by zipping up this end with a drawer cord. That works quite well, apart from the occasional drafts through the gaps. One thing you need to be aware of, which I have accidentally done, is when you're separating the poppers, let me just show you. I think it's quite a common concern actually. Do not pull the material like this, as I did. Instead, get your fingers in there and pull the poppers, which I still can't do. Like that. Otherwise, you run the risk of tearing a hole and losing some of the down, as I've done there. I've also got a random hole forming near the head somewhere. There we go. It's very small, I don't know if you can see it, but it's right there. This is a really good option for summer and late spring camps, but on its own it's possibly a bit cold, so I really should have bought this reactor liner with me. One of the reasons I got this is for this trip. I didn't take it with me. I thought I could save 200 grams or so, and it was just, yeah, I was too cold in the early mornings, like I said. I was okay going to bed, but when the temperature dropped, I really wanted this with me, and I do regret not taking it now. There's no real pack size to it. It's not a huge weight, 200 grams, but yeah, That should come with me. Next time it will. It always will. Now, I was eating meals from Firepot in the evenings, and this is my titanium spork, but as you can see it's a little bit shorter going to the bottom of the bag. Ironically, I received a longer spoon from Vango as a gift back in April, and I left it here, but that, as you can see, goes right to the bottom. It's perfect for the job, and it's should have gone with me. It's a bit heavier, but it would have made the evening meals a bit easier. I didn't really use this A4 plastic wallet. It kept things dry, kept my itinerary in place, but I could have used something about this size and it would have done the same job, would have been fine. As for the mapping, I didn't use that either very much. I had OS maps on my phone, so I downloaded all the routes to my phone so they were available offline, just loaded that up as I needed them really. A bag with some AA, AAA batteries that I never actually used. Speaking of batteries, I actually have two power banks. There's one here made by Anchor. That was 15 quid, I bought it last year. It will recharge my phone 2.5 times and it works pretty well. It also holds charge for several months when not in use. So that was great. I was given this GP batteries charger a few months ago, in April actually, and I thought I'd give it a try on this trip. It worked okay the first time charging my phone, but it stopped at 94%, I don't know why. I tried again to recharge it the second day and it stopped at 44%, so either the batteries are a bit faulty or there's something wrong with the device or it doesn't like my phone, I don't know. So I'm less trusting of this thing now, and to be fair, there's quite a lot of weight between the two of them, so I might just either take that one on its own or I'll buy a larger version of this one to replace the two and keep that for shorter trips. This is my completely unused mini tripod, apart from one evening doing some filming when I was cooking. I could probably do without it on future trails because there's always a fence post or a sign you can put your camera on, or I've got like a walking pole attachment, which you can see here when I'm vlogging and that sort of thing. It works well. Right, tent pegs. So I've got the Lux Hex Peak V4A. That comes with only, I think it comes with 6 pegs of a certain length. Nice mess. Yeah, like these here with the cord through the top hole. And they're fine, but you kind of need at least 2 more to get the inner attached properly, despite what the instructions say. And I bought these red ones from Backpack and Light at the same time as backup pegs, but for some reason they're much longer, so they're obviously a bit heavier, and I can't see why I would need longer pegs. So what I do, if I'm not careful, I just bend them like that. So I might replace these with some shorter ones and just keep these in a box or a bag somewhere. I've got a tip for you as well. If I put the ball on here, push down with my hand, and that works really, really well. It's less likely to bend them as well. This is done with my foot, by the way, because this is the walking pole extender link to join 2 poles together and create 1 long pole. But with the poles I have, which are the Lecky Sherpa XL, one of these on its own is long enough to support my tent without being joined together, so I don't need this. I knew I did not need this and I still carried it with me. There's no weight to it, but it's a pain in the ass trying to pack it somewhere. It always sticks out or sticks into something else, and I should really try and find a new home for it. I actually have 2 water ladders. The one I took with me is this blue one here, the old Osprey design, which is very solid and reliable. It's got a nice firm back to it, so it slides in easily. I do prefer this newer design though. This one's a bit smaller, and for the trail it would have been fine because on the South Downs Way you get water stops every so often, and I was only carrying 1 litre of water per day. Also, when it comes to cooking and that sort of thing, you can put water in here. This one has 2 benefits. It's got a top closure system, so you can fill it up and empty it easily, which means pouring it into a pot or a pan is very simple like that. Whereas this one, it's a bit awkward because there's a screw on cap and it's on the angle. It's not like an easy fill. And also you've got the quick release mechanism on this one for the drinking hose, so I could take the whole pack out, leave the straw on the pack, the rucksack that is, and use it as a reservoir for cooking and things. Alternatively, I could just buy this mechanism for the other pack. And speaking of water, if I can find my bottle, I think one thing I might take on a future trip is something I mentioned in the first video, I think, so on day one. This is the water bottle with the water filter inside from Pure Hydration or Aquapure Traveller. It's only got a small capacity, what's that? 500 ml I think it is. But you can ideally put water in there and then squeeze it to create like a water filter system to fill up your bottles or your bladder whenever you've got it ready. So I could use a stream or a sheep's trough, whatever. But unlike the water to go ones, which cannot be squeezed because they are solid, this one's got more advantages. I regret not buying any blister plasters because my feet were in a mess. The South Downs way is quite unforgiving. It's constant chalk paths for many miles, and these would have been very beneficial, but I bought these ones in Lidl. I don't buy Combi because they're quite expensive for what they are, and you always get the small sizes. And I think that's pretty much it for now, so thanks again for watching, and I'll see you again soon on a new video.